When the cameras are rolling, a movie set buzzes with activity, but what happens when the clapperboard snaps shut for the final time? Around the world you'll find some amazing spots that once played host to Hollywood, yet post-production these locations have been left to rack and ruin. While some have come back from the brink, others haven't always benefited from their 5 minutes of fame. Here we take a movie tour around abandoned backdrops from the silver screen to discover some happy and not so happy endings. Wallaby Anchorage, St. Vincent, Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean. The seafaring epic Pirates of the Caribbean first came swashbuckling onto movie screens in 2003. More than 15 years later, the franchise is still going strong, having grossed more than $4.5 billion at the box office. You can experience an authentic piece of movie history at Hotel and Restaurant Wallaby Anchorage, on Caribbean island St. Vincent's west coast. The original set was built around the establishment and it still has props from Captain Jack Sparrow's escape sequence in the first film. Gas Haven, near Ouarzazate, Morocco. The Hills Have Eyes. The 2006 horror movie The Hills Have Eyes kept audiences up at night with its tale of a family left stranded in the Californian wilderness. Anyone who's seen the film will recognize the stretch of desert outside the city of Ouarzazate in Morocco, which doubled for the U.S. West Coast, and the Gas Haven petrol station where the family first hear of a shortcut through the desert from the store's creepy clerk. Corporation Studios, near Ouarzazate, Morocco. The Mummy, Black Hawk Down. Gas Haven isn't the only movie location in the area. It was actually the producers of Lawrence of Arabia, 1962, who first saw the potential in the desert outside of Ouarzazate. They needed a location to stand in for Western Asia, with consistent weather and a remote position near the Sahara. Morocco's wilderness fitted the bill. But it wasn't until 1983 that these studios officially opened, providing sets for reenactments of biblical locations, ancient civilizations and brilliant works of fiction alike. In terms of acreage, Atlas Film Studios is the largest in the world, attracting filmmakers from around the globe. When a set is finished with, it's simply left behind and the next one built. But the harsh sun and damage from sands mean the buildings deteriorate quickly, giving the whole area an eerie overtone that enthralls visitors. Henry River Mill Village, North Carolina, USA. The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games, an adaptation of Suzanne Collins' young adult novels, tells the story of a society divided into poverty-stricken districts and forced to take part in an annual battle. Henry River Mill Village, a former cotton mill town in North Carolina, serves as District 12, the hometown of the film's heroine Katniss Everdeen, played by Jennifer Lawrence. The film crews have long departed and these days you can join a guided tour of the 72-acre site which was originally built in 1905. Expect to explore the abandoned brick company store and see inside the mill houses. You can even take part in an archery workshop to perfect your Hunger Games skills. Cypress Gardens, South Carolina, USA. The Patriot. The Notebook. Mel Gibson's The Patriot is set during the American Revolutionary War and was filmed over 100 days across South Carolina state. Fans of the film will recognize Cypress Gardens as the old Spanish Mission Black Swamp Militia's secret island headquarters. This man-made swampland north of Charleston also features in romantic drama The Notebook, the film adaptation of Nicholas Sparks' 1996 novel, in which Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling play lovers separated by the Second World War in class. The gardens recently reopened after flooding closed the sites in 2015. Horn, Hofen, Iceland. Unknown. It wasn't just the set that was abandoned here, a whole movie was too. Constructed in 2010 at the bottom of Mount Vestrahorn near Hofn, a fishing village on the southeast Icelandic coast, this authentic-looking Viking town was made for a flick that ran out of cash and never saw the light of day. Nearly a decade on, the rambling set remains intact. Today, The farmer on whose land the set was built allows visitors to wander around. Start at the Viking Cafe, where you'll pay a small fee to take in the village. You can peek in the set's dungeon and inside the houses with their turf roofs too. Like many film sets, however, the site wasn't built to last and is gradually becoming a victim of southeast Iceland's vicious winter weather, which has caused the wooden structures to rot. However, there's talk Vestrahorn may yet appear on the big screen in a film currently in development. Watch the space. Becton Gas Works, London, UK, Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket, Stanley Kubrick's 1987 wartime film about America's ill-fated conflict with Vietnam, wasn't filmed in Southeast Asia at all. The film's iconic battle scenes were actually shot more than 6,000 miles away on London's Isle of Dogs, where Kubrick and his team transformed decommissioned coal works factory Becton Gas Works into a Vietnamese city. One of cinema's most nerve-wracking moments, the platoon of American Marines are tasked with clearing the city of Viet Cong and snipers. Kubrick had the whole gas works selectively demolished and dressed with latticework and appropriate advertising hoardings to make it a believable Vietnamese cityscape. Dyersville, Iowa, USA, Field of Dreams. Kevin Costner stars as Ray Kinsella, novice corn farmer turned baseball hero, in Field of Dreams, the 1989 film adaptation of W. P. Kinsella's 1982 novel Shoeless Joe. The film has become a cult classic and scenes for the movie were shot on farms near Dyersville, Iowa. The shooting schedule was too short for grass to grow naturally, so ground experts who'd worked on two of America's largest sports stadiums, the Dodger Stadium and the Rose Bowl, were hired to create the field, which included painting the turf green. The scenes were shot on two farms, one belonging to Don Lansing and the other to Al Meskamp. After filming finished, Meskamp decided to grow corn while Lansing kept the set intact and opened the site to the public, attracting around 65,000 visitors a year. Lansing sold the site to Go the Distance Baseball in 2012 and it remains open to tourists. Blue Cloud Ranch, Santa Clarita, USA, Zero Dark 30. Blue Cloud Ranch has served as the setting for countless films and TV shows including Iron Man and American Sniper. It's also one of the locations used for 2012's Zero Dark 30, a semi-fictional account of the events leading up to the death of Osama bin Laden, once the most wanted man in America. Desert, Almería, Spain. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Despite being set in the American Old West, many of cinema's great spaghetti westerns weren't filmed in the States at all. In fact, the Tabernas Desert near the southern Spanish town of Almería served as the set for countless cowboy classics. The genre was made famous by legendary Italian director Sergio Leone, whose films include The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, A Fistful of Dollars and For a Few Dollars More, starring chiseled and grizzled actor Clint Eastwood. Leone discovered the site near Almería in 1964. He and his team constructed life-size towns in the middle of the European desert that served as the backdrop for many films. The sets are still in use today and fans of Nickelodeon's Lost in the West and BBC's Doctor Who will recognize the location. Mini Hollywood is a filming location, Wild West theme park and occasionally a Western-themed wedding location in the province. The site is also a zoological reserve with a large number of species in serious danger of extinction. Hobbiton, New Zealand, The Lord of the Rings. With a new John Ronald Royal Tolkien biopic about to hit screens, expect another wave of The Lord of the Rings travel interest. The mountains and valleys of New Zealand serve as the backdrop for much of Sir Peter Jackson's epic series. A life-size shire, the hometown of the novel's Hobbit heroes, was created especially for the movies and located in the northern part of the North Island. However, the set you see isn't the same as the movies, as it was rebuilt specifically as a tourist attraction. In 1998, Sir Peter Jackson's team of location scouts were searching for the rolling hills and lush green pastures of Hobbiton. An aerial search led them to the Alexander Farm, a stunning 1,250-acre sheep farm in the heart of the Waikato. Wander among the Hobbit houses or step inside the miniature abodes of Frodo Baggins, Peregrine Took and Samwise Gamgee, and keep your eyes peeled for the One Ring. Village, Melilla, Malta. Popeye. Not many people know that the late, great comedian and actor Robin Williams, star of films including Good Will Hunting, Mrs. Doubtfire and Dead Poets Society, also played the eponymous character in the 1980 film adaptation of the Popeye comics. The rugged Mediterranean island of Malta serves as the principal location for the spinach-guzzling anti-hero's escapades. When the life-size town constructed in Anchor Bay, in the northwest of the island, was abandoned after filming, the Maltese government decided to revive it as Popeye Village, a family-friendly theme park and now one of the island's most popular tourist attractions. Nowadays you can tour the site, join in the daily filming, or if you really want to make like Popeye and Olive, even get married at the quirky coastal town. Tunisia, Tunisia, Star Wars. George Lucas' intergalactic saga Star Wars was a defining moment in the history of cinema and has spawned countless other films set in galaxies far, far away. Desert planet Tatooine plays a major role throughout the franchise as the home planet of Anakin Skywalker, the young Jedi who grows up to become supervillain Darth Vader, and the fictional name is a clue to its real-life location. Is named after Tunisia, a city in southern Tunisia. The city features most predominantly in the first of the prequels, 1999 Star Wars, Episode I, The Phantom Menace, and is a popular attraction to this day, with the unique cave architecture of its Berber population. Fans of the franchise can also visit Hotel Sidi Reis, around 2 hours drive north of Tunisia, which served as the Lars homestead location. This unique accommodation features in some of the first film's moments. Lone Pine, California, USA. Iron Man. Part of the Marvel franchise, Iron Man first hit screens in 2008. Actor Robert Downey Jr. won hearts with his performance of the eponymous anti-hero. The landscapes of Kunar Province, Afghanistan, where Iron Man's alter ego Tony Stark is captured after a raid on the army convoy, were actually shot in Alabama hills at Lone Pine, California. Edwards Air Force Base, California, USA. Iron Man 2. In Iron Man 2, Stark Industries Airfield is Edwards Air Force Base, about 25 miles northeast of Lancaster in the Mojave Desert, California. The base is a screen regular, having appeared in The Right Stuff, Armageddon and the Transformers movies. Sibley, Louisiana, USA. Year 1. Actors Jack Black and Michael Cera buddy up in 2009's Year 1, a tongue-in-cheek comedy about the history of early cave-dwelling mankind. The set, which is near the town of Sibley in northeast Louisiana, is one of the wildest movie locations. It's 6 acres, surrounded by many more acres of desert-looking sand, and stands in for the biblical city Sodom. Tunisia, Rome, Italy. Gangs of New York. Martin Scorsese's 2002 epic Gangs of New York is set in mid-19th century New York slums and stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Daniel Day-Lewis and Cameron Diaz. The characters are caught up in a long-standing Irish Protestant feud on the street of 5 Points, Manhattan, but the movie set was a long way from the Big Apple. The film was actually shot in Rome, Italy at the famous Cinema City, still the largest film studio in Europe and the hub of Italian cinema to this day. Production designer Dante Ferretti recreated more than a mile of mid-19th century New York buildings, many of which you can still see today. It consisted of a 5-block area of Lower Manhattan, including a section of the East River waterfront and 2 full-sized sailing ships. Talk about going all out. Montgomery, Alabama, USA. Big Fish. Acclaimed director Tim Burton's Big Fish, 2003, is the tear-jerking story of a son's reconciliation with his dying father. Burton and his team had the fictional town of Spectre constructed from scratch rather than use a real-world location as the set. The town was built on an island along the banks of the Alabama River near the town of Montgomery and still stands today. Can still walk in the footsteps of the film's blockbuster names, which include Ewan McGregor, Marion Cotillard and Helena Bonham Carter, on the now deserted and somewhat eerie set, which today is overgrown with wildlife.